Hello and welcome to Travel Beans. I'm Alex and this is Emma, and welcome to another Beancast episode.
Today we are speaking to Chelsea Dickenson, who is a cheap holiday expert based in London. Chelsea is obsessed with finding cheap holiday deals and sharing them with us via her website, YouTube channel and other social media channels. Thank you so much for joining us today, Chelsea.
Thank you for having me. It's so nice to see you again, even though it is virtually.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It has.
So, okay, let's start things off with maybe for some of our viewers who don't know who you are, what you do, could you give them a brief overview as to kind of your mission for your channel, I guess?
Yeah, I love that you say they may not know what you do. Your last person was Indigo Traveller with his 700,000 subscribers. Here's me with my puny 8,000. Very proud of the 8,000 though.
Not to be sniffed at?
No, not at all. Basically, I'm just obsessed with cheap travel. And that's how it all started off. I wanted to travel more. I wanted to learn how to video edit. You combine the two. I was like, the only way I can possibly do this is if it's on a budget. So I set myself a challenge where I had to do as many holidays as I could for a certain amount of money. And that's where the name of the channel, How Many Holidays, came from. And I set myself some tasks, like I had to go to at least 3 continents. I could only use annual leave because I was still working, obviously. 2 of them had to be long, and the best one was I had to fly business class at least once. I did that, which was really, really fun. It was supposed to be a 1-year thing. But yeah, I started having some strangers watch me and I thought, do you know what? I'll continue capturing it. I bloody love a good deal and it seems that other people love it too. So it's become this really nice community of people just sharing tips on how they get their best buys and how they get away more, but by spending less money.
So has this turned into like a full-time job for you now?
No, I'm very much still a full-time worker. I'm a radio producer full-time, which is quite nice actually because, well, I make radio documentaries and my boss does say all the time, Chelsea, stop pitching ideas where you want to go on holiday. Basically, it's all I do. But it is quite nice. There have been probably about once or twice a year I do get to travel. So I always try and tack on a bit of a holiday on the back of it. So it definitely has its perks. It's
quite strange, it sounds like, for someone to go from like old media, dabble your feet into new media. What's like the difference for you?
Honestly, it's so fascinating and it's one of the things that I really, really love doing because I have a lot of colleagues who, work in TV and radio who perhaps are so good at their jobs but don't really understand this new media angle of it. Mm-hmm. And then on the flip side, I look at a lot of what people are doing on YouTube and sometimes I'm watching a video going, how have they complied this? Oh my God, they're going to get into so much trouble. And of course they don't. But the other flip side is I think there's a lot of opportunities that are missed by people in new media where they could really easily dip their toes into old media and probably create another following for themselves in a different way. So my approach to it all is kind of a hybrid of both of them. I do the YouTube, the Instagram, but I also do bits on TV and radio as well. So yeah, it's kind of worked out quite nicely.
Well, I've seen you actually be on TV and radio quite a lot. And I'm intrigued. How do you angle this? Like, how do the beans get on TV?
Honestly, you could get on TV. Honestly, if anyone's watching this and has like a YouTube channel thinking, I would like to do it, the thing you need to know, and I know this because I am a radio producer, if somebody comes to you and they're good and they have an idea, you're like, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus, because they've done half the work for you. And the great thing, especially with travel, is that there are so many topical stories out there that people are looking to get contributors for to speak about it from a really authentic point of view. So it all started for me when I think just because I have friends who work in TV and radio, you know how it is on Twitter. Once someone likes something, you appear in someone else's feed, etc., etc. That's how it began. And it was a friend of a friend reached out, hey, we're doing a bit about New Year travel. Will you come on and speak to us? And it was for, oh God, they're going to kill me because they're a good friend now. And I can't remember. It was for radio. It wasn't Leeds. Hull. It was in Hull.
Nice, we got there.
And that was my first kind of bit that I did. And they got me on to talk about my 10 holiday challenge. And it kind of starts from there. One thing that... am I allowed to say this? Yeah, I'm allowed to say this. I think once you've been on a BBC radio station, for instance, you kind of get entered into their database. And if other people are looking for contributors for travel content, you may come up. So you may get a call from a different, from Radio Jersey or somewhere. So actually, it's quite easy once you get yourself on there to kind of keep that momentum going.
Is it usually live? Like me and Emma had an experience. We had a viral story pretty much prior to starting the channel. And it ended up with Emma being the lad of Lad Bible about 5 years ago. And we ended up being on...
How did I miss this?
It was a long time ago.
We were on the breakfast show of Australia, like in terms of England. And it's for England it would be the equivalent of This Morning, but in Australia it's the same level. And we were in Bali at the time,
so weird.
And we did it live. We had to wake up at a really early time, and
I think it was like 5 a.m.
We had to share a headset, and there was a horrible delay. I remember I made some cringy jokes that.
And because of the delay, and then the presenter didn't get the joke, and so it was just really awkward.
It was terrible.
Just the worst experience.
How do you deal with being on live TV?
Yeah, does it not terrify you?
I haven't done live TV, thank the Lord, because I would... Okay, I'm in two minds about it. Most of the radio I do is live, and you do get nervous, but the wonderful thing, and you'll know this, if you set up a camera in front of yourself, and you know you've got all afternoon to nail 6 minutes, you will spend 6 hours doing it. If you were told you've got to go on and do it live, that's it. It's amazing what you can pull out of the bag, and not having that choice to do it again. I mean, it's kind of fight or flight, isn't it? Like, you either succeed greatly or flop, and you just hope it's not the latter.
Yeah, God.
But randomly, we did appear on a radio show in the Philippines. We had some videos that got big there.
Stop! You two going, we need to get on radio and TV more. You've already bloody done it.
Once in the Philippines, once in Australia, not in England.
International.
I want to be in England now. But when we turned up to the radio show, we were petrified. We got stuck in traffic, so we were an hour late. It was funny. We listened to the radio show in the taxi, and they were talking about us, saying our guests are late. It was a very surreal experience, and we got there kind of scared and stressed, and it was great. Like, I love doing radio. That's one of my favourite experiences of the travel.
See, I worry that I'm just going to put my foot in it. I'm going to say something ridiculous, and I panic. But you're better under the stress. Maybe some people deal well under the pressure.
I like the saying ridiculous things. That's the point of it.
You can get away with it.
It is tough, because even though I work in radio, I get really nervous before I'm doing an interview or anything like that. This has nothing to do with holiday stuff. I was about to call him my boyfriend, I suppose he is. My boyfriend, I call him the housemate. James, he works on a radio show live every single day on Radio X.
A very famous radio show as well in the UK.
The Chris Moore Show. If you're in the UK, you'll probably know who Chris Moore is. And he was. Oh, that was it. They were surprising him each day with something nice, and one day the surprise was me. I mean, who worked out that would be a nice surprise? I do not know. But I was physically shaking before I went in.
I'm not surprised.
I would say that I'm a fairly confident person, but I get nerves really, really badly.
So, as a travel expert, I'm kind of intrigued, like, as travellers ourselves, with the virus going on, what are you doing during lockdown?
Well, as we've discussed, I do have a full-time job, so that's taken a fair amount of time. I'm very lucky. I'm not complaining at all. That my job hasn't really changed much. I work from home a lot anyway. And so I've just been plodding on making my documentaries that I already had recorded. I was actually in LA just as Donald Trump declared that the UK was on the travel ban list. So I had to fly home that day. It was all full of drama. I was gutted because I had tacked my days off onto the end of the trip, so I'd managed to get my work done, but missed out on the holiday aspect.
Yeah, the fun bit.
You mean? But no, I got home really quickly, easily, fine. But since then, I've been in lockdown. I did have to move house, which was not the most fun. That took up a lot of time.
Yeah, during COVID. How was that?
Yeah, and before anyone says, how dare you, that we literally couldn't, we would have been homeless. It was not fun. We had to do it all ourselves. And what's more, the flat that we moved into, this one, was unfurnished. So imagine trying to furnish an apartment during COVID. It wasn't fun. So that's taken up a lot of time. But on the travel side of things, it has meant that I have finally edited a video from 2018. Guys, I am here to be relevant.
Nice. So maybe just quickly, could you just tell us what your latest series is that you've edited so people watching can know?
Well, this is really annoying when this happens to people who have not done something and put it off, but it's kind of worked out quite well because the series is a road trip around Scotland. And I do think that we're all going to be looking to UK travel in the next few months as limitations are lifted. So it's a road trip around the North Coast 500, which is the 500 miles around the Highlands, around the top. Have you done it?
No,
this
we
is
are
like
dying to
our
do
number
it.
one thing we want to do in the UK. And before
So
the
good.
virus, we decided we wanted to do this, and it just coincided that now that's
all our
pretty
plans.
much what we're going to be doing when we're allowed. But
Yeah.
then
Hopefully.
everyone's going to flock there. But yeah, so how good is the north of Scotland in this 500-mile drive?
It's absolutely stunning. I couldn't get over how many beaches there were that had no one on it and looked like they were in the Caribbean. I mean, if you
Really?
dip your
Wow.
toes in, you'd be like, oh, I'm in Scotland. But
Yeah.
they looked so stunning.
Instagram doesn't know it's
scenery-
cold.
Exactly. It was so stunning. And the other thing was, we actually went in July, 1 week before the school holidays. But in Scotland, they have their summer holidays are earlier than England and Wales. But it was still dead. There was no one on the roads. I couldn't understand it. I was like, does no one know about this? What's going on? It's beautiful. It's a great road trip to do across a week, I'd say, because each day you probably only need to travel about an hour and a half, and you may think, I'm going to be bored. You will not be bored. That 1.5 hours will take you 5 hours because you'll have to constantly stop, get out and take some photos or just take it in. It's beautiful.
I'm so excited.
You have to do it.
Perfect. I'm interested then, are you booking anything during COVID? Are you holding off until restrictions are lifted? There's probably a good chance to get a good deal, but then you have to weigh up that they might be cancelled. Where are you with this?
I am not booking anything at all. I'm lucky that I've travelled a lot, and do you know what? It is doing wonders for my bank balance. I will not lie. I'm like,
tell
oh
me
my
about
god, is this what it feels like to have disposable income? I mean, it was disposable
We're
income.
the same,
I was just spending it on travel. But no, there's just so much uncertainty. Not even the government, I don't think, knows what's going to happen with travel. There's a reason why the Foreign Office have just said no travel indefinitely. They haven't even given a date. You know, that's the Foreign Office. They don't even know. And therefore, until we start to see those dates come through, I'm holding off. And because I've been helping lots of people on Instagram getting like travel refunds and knowing their rights, I've gone a bit consumer rights crazy over COVID, I must say. I am very reluctant to kind of tell anyone to book anything just because I'm aware that so many people have lost a lot of money already. I'd hate to be that person encouraging them to be like,
go for
there's a £300 flight to Havana in December, do it. And then it rolls round and then they're like, thanks, Chelsea.
Yeah, of course.
So no, I think just wait a little bit. There are some amazing deals out there. I've been saying to people, if you really want to book something because you've seen an unreal deal, you have to go into it with the mindset of, if I find out that this is cancelled and I don't get my money back, am I going to be devastated?
Yeah.
If you are, don't book it. If you're in a very lucky position where you can be like, it essentially comes down, is it worth the risk? It's a punt. It's like putting on a lottery ticket. Okay, the odds aren't that bad. But if you manage to get away for that £300 and you'd be ecstatic about it, and also if you found out you're going to lose that £300, if you're not going to be devastated by that risk of losing it, you should go for it. But if not, just leave it alone because we just don't know enough.
That's good advice, I think. Yeah, as you say, too much uncertainty, I think.
No, I was going to say, is this where you say to me, well, we've just booked 3 flights?
No, nothing.
Happy news. God.
We're going to hold off ourselves for a while. It's very difficult having a travel channel, but
Yeah.
It's not worth the stress. It just is not worth the stress.
yeah, we jumped off a trip that, financially cost us to do so, but just makes sense not to be advertising. Like, we're not in this to be going telling people to do stupid stuff. Like, it's not the right time.
No, definitely
Unfortunately,
not.
we've got to wait.
Yes. Stay at home.
Yeah.
So what about people who've already booked stuff? So if you've already booked something and, you know, they've been told it's cancelled or not told it's cancelled, what should people be doing about that right now, in your opinion?
Well, the first thing you need to check is, has it been cancelled? The moment you have that cancellation, a load of laws and rules roll in and have got you protected. It's a different thing whether the companies themselves are actually enforcing the rules, which we've seen a massive issue with lots of people saying you can only have a voucher when EU law says that you can have a full refund. If you're in that situation and the company you're dealing with is refusing to give you the money, the best thing I think you can do is there's two bodies basically that you can refer to. If it's a holiday or accommodation, you need to reference the CMA, which is the Competitions Market Authority, who came out and actually said, we're aware that this is a massive issue and we're going to look into it. If you literally Google CMA, holiday accommodation refunds, it'll come up with the .gov link. I'll send it to you. Maybe you can pop it in below.
Perfect.
And that will help people.
Definitely.
If you quote that, if you link to that, and if you say to the company, I am going to raise a complaint against you with the CMA if you don't give me a refund, that gives them the opportunity to turn around on it. If they then say, no, go ahead, that's when you actually raise the complaint with them. There's a link on that .gov website. And there's a few other things that you can do too. I've heard success from people who, by posting their complaint publicly on the company's Facebook page, they've turned around and got it. So it's annoying, it's really annoying, but there's some things you can do. If it hasn't been cancelled and it's way in the future, unfortunately, you're probably just going to have to wait a little while. It's really frustrating, especially when you've got so much money held up. But the point is, as I mentioned, the Foreign Office currently do not have a date for when this is going to get moving again. So you can understand why companies don't want to give refunds on your holiday in August, because maybe it will go ahead. And that would be more of a mess for them to give you the money back, etc., etc. Ultimately, once your holiday is getting close, so if it's in the next 2 to 3 to 4 weeks, that's when you can start saying to them, look, the advice is still saying that I can't travel. What are you going to do? Can I move it? Can I get a voucher? Can I get a refund? And that's when you can talk to your travel insurance as well. And a final thing that people should absolutely do is that they should, if they paid on a credit card, go through Section 75 chargeback scheme. If you spent over £100, you can do this. If you're waiting for a refund from a travel company and it hasn't come through, you can do it at the same time as waiting for them to do it. The great thing about this, if the company goes bust, you're covered by your credit card protection. That's why it's worth doing that as well, just in case. Obviously, you won't get 2 refunds, but whichever one claims it back first, you'll get to keep. I wrote about all the different things and all your rights and things on my new website, which, by the way, don't launch a travel website during COVID. That was my plan. I've massively scaled back on it. All that's on there right now is stuff about COVID, but that's on cheapholidayexpert.com. So if you're struggling, all your rights are listed on that. So check that out. That might help.
Perfect. And you mentioned about vouchers as well and refunds.
Yeah.
What would be the benefits of someone, say, getting a voucher rather than a refund? Because I know a lot of people will probably be worried about going for the voucher option in case the company goes bust or something like that.
Yeah. It's a total chicken and the egg situation. I really feel for all the travel companies because it's unprecedented. No one's planned for this. No one knew it was going to happen. Loads of people are going to lose their jobs. Companies will go bust. And if people don't take the voucher, they're more likely to go bust. That's the difficulty here. So, I don't know. You need to ask yourself, it's that question again, if you lost the money, how devastated would you be? What are your circumstances? I can't, as much as I want to support the travel industry, and I have personally taken vouchers, I don't want to tell someone that who has lost their job or, is struggling. If they need that money, they need that money, don't they? But the perk of vouchers is that Some companies are offering you more credit if you go with that. So they'll give you like 120% of the value. So it's worth checking that. That could be a really good thing. Other people are saying that if you rebook, you'll have free cancellation in the future. One of the vouchers I accepted said that you can rebook in 18 months. And if you don't, you'll get the refund in 18 months' time. And I was like, do you know what? That's a good compromise for me.
Yeah.
'Cause it's a ferry in Greece. I might use it, I might not. But if I don't, I will get it. It'll be a nice little £100 bonus, in the future. So it's tough. It's down to people's circumstances, I know. But it's worth checking. It's worth checking out the terms because no voucher or credit note is equal.
Do you think that then there is gonna be like a travel industry to go back to after all this? Like from our perspective, we're a little bit apprehensive. We're hoping. For us as well, when we travel, the thing that we love the most is kind of nature and wildlife, and that's always going to be there. But we are a bit worried about the infrastructure that's going to be left after this.
I think what is interesting is that as lockdowns start to be lifted in countries, what will start happening is people are so eager to get back out and travel again that we'll start to see tourism industries within our own countries start to thrive again. Mm-hmm. The problem with that is that it doesn't really include airlines. So whilst I think I'm really hoping that, holiday villas, cottages, Airbnbs, hotels will start to kind of get the money coming back in, which will hopefully tide people over until everything starts going back open. It's airlines that I have no idea where that's going to go.
Yeah, it's worrying.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to be able to travel abroad for a while, I don't think.
Yeah, it's just speculation at this point, I think.
Exactly, but everyone's speculating because no one's actually said anything yet. But yeah, yes, there will be a travel industry to go back to. Big things will change. It may be that there's less choice.
More expensive flights?
I think that initially they won't be more expensive because they'll be so desperate for cash. This is just my own personal thoughts. But perhaps in the long run, as they're trying to recoup their costs.
And you say, maybe for the immediate future, it might be more traveling within your own country, so within the UK. I mean, we're pretty lucky in the UK. We have a lot of beautiful places to go and visit. What would you recommend as sort of your best hacks for finding deals traveling within the UK?
I think there will be plenty of deals as people are trying to get some more money back in. One of my top tips, which is so perfect for the UK, is haggling on Airbnb. It's one of my favourite things to do. I always haggle on Airbnb. Owners probably hate me.
Oh, they definitely hate you.
Yeah, they do. But what a lot of people don't realise is as an owner, when you get somebody messaging you saying that they're interested, you actually have an option that says offer. So you can go back to them with a counter offer. It can be less than what they've actually put the property on for. So Airbnb is built with this capability. Oh, the owners are going to hate me. But my point is, it's not about doing anyone out of any money. It's about leaving it last minute, looking ahead. Maybe it's Wednesday night, Thursday night, looking to go away Friday for the weekend, going and seeing what's still free. It's kind of a win-win situation. You're saying to them, look, I'm a really respectful guest. I'm really excited. I've always wanted to come to this region. Budget's a bit tight at the moment. I'd love to give you some money. Is there a price that we could meet on? And that way, they're getting a bit of money. You're getting to go away somewhere a bit cheaper. Everyone's happy.
It's one of those things I don't think it is common knowledge. And like you said, it's kind of a win-win situation because if they're not happy with the price you offer, they can say no, can't they? So it's not like you're taking advantage necessarily. You're just seeing if you can come to a happy agreement somewhere in the middle.
I've done it twice before. I've had plenty of no's as well. But it's always worth going. Why not?
Yeah, definitely. Oh.
Well, I think that should end the depressing COVID section. And
forget about
bring an end to it.
We'll move to more in what you're good at. So you're very good at finding budget holidays, and I even as a big traveller,
you might say,
and also as backpacking and stuff. If I think of budget holidays, especially around Europe, I think of Ryanair and I think of hostels.
Grimy.
Is that how you're travelling?
It's not, but First of all, let's not write off a Ryanair and hostel holiday.
There's a time
You've
and a
done them.
place.
I've done
I'm
them.
not saying, I'm just telling you what I associate with budget.
No, of course. But yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of a super budget holiday, but you're right. It is super nice when you have a budget holiday, but you're staying somewhere a lot lusher. It is absolutely doable for the fact that I've stayed in some outrageous places and I definitely don't have the budget for it. The best place I think I've ever stayed was this 5-bedroom home in Germany with a pool, hot tub. It was like, basically James and I went around the kitchen Googling how much all the appliances were. They had a mixer which was worth £1,500. Like, proper baller money.
I was thinking of doing this. That's never crossed my mind. That's amazing.
Yeah, no IKEA. And we paid £0 for it. It was a house sit. We were house sitting for a family who went on holiday, and in return, we had to take in their post.
And what website was with that?
That was with Nomador. Free to join, and with your free membership, you get 3 messages to send to people. So I got that completely for free.
You mentioned earlier about flying business class, and that was a bit of a goal for you. Is it possible to fly business class on a budget?
Absolutely. As long as you're not expecting a flat seat.
Okay.
That's my tip, because British Airways, you can fly Club Europe with them. The prices are much cheaper than what you probably would expect. For example, I think the lowest price to fly to Berlin is £88 each way.
Wow.
About £100 for Barcelona. I know you can get some real deals from it. When you get to your seat, you'll be like, why have I paid for this? Because it's exactly the same as economy. But you have the spare seat in between you. And you're like, what is this? But there are perks. And it's definitely worth it for the free bar in the lounge.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so get there nice and early before your flight.
3 hours at least. So yeah, there are plenty of perks. The perks are you get priority check-in, your own desk. You get security to go through security in the fast track lane. You get 2 bags. So if you are traveling with a lot of luggage anyway, it's sometimes worth checking it out. You can fly cheaper business class than going economy and paying extra for bags. That's a good tip.
That is a good tip.
Then you get access to the lounge. And the great thing about BA, if you're flying from one of its hub kind of locations, is that they have their own lounges. You are in there with the people who are flying first class to Tokyo, and you're there like, I'm off to Berlin for £88. No one can be. They have a free pour alcohol section. We are talking Grey Goose. Just
nice.
Tip it in. You should drink responsibly, everyone. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. And you get to go on the plane first. When you're on the plane, you get like a 3-course meal and more alcohol. Essentially, if you are traveling on a budget, you don't need to do it. If you were to add up all the bits, if you get a deal and get it for £88, it's probably worth it. But normally, it's probably not quite worth it. You could probably sit in the airport and get the same amount of booze and pay the same kind of price. But I would definitely recommend it as a treat for someone. Like, that's the only time that I've done it, is for birthdays. And I only ever really do it flying out. I just return in economy, because normally when you fly back, that airport's not going to have a BA lounge. You'll just go to a regular lounge that you could pay £30 to go into anyway. So it's a treat. It's a lot of fun. Honestly, I'd give it a go. If you like alcohol, it might be worth it.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. You gotta get your money's worth, right? So talk us through your process of booking cheap flights. Like, is there any particular websites you use? Is there any particular method? How long before do you book a flight?
So, I checked this just before I got on this call with you, because I wrote up a post all about how to book a cheap flight. It was 4,238 words long. I think that's more work than I put into my dissertation, I'm not going to lie. The problem is, there's no one way, and I think this is why I love finding cheap flights so much, and why you get like that thrill and a buzz from it, because it is quite complicated. So, to keep it simple, my 3 kind of takeaway tips are: 1, if you know your date, make sure you're checking Skyscanner, Momondo, Google Flights, and then direct for the airline that is the cheapest. That's the best way that you're going to find the best price. If you don't know your date, start with Google Flights because they've got an exceptional calendar view. When you see the cheapest dates, you then go back to Skyscanner, Momondo, and then direct, because actually Google Flights, it's my personal favorite, but rarely shows the cheapest flights.
Yeah,
Right,
agree.
so
I
it's
like
more
the
visual.
interface and the visual with the map and
It's-
stuff is amazing.
It's so good, and you can tell that Google just are doing it as a side project or something. Like they
Yeah.
never really speak about it. They don't make all the clever
just there.
gizmos with it. It's
Yeah.
obviously someone's fun little side project that they're not making enough. They're not making as many millions as they want to from it, so they'll just keep it running for now.
Yeah.
And my final tip would be wildcard. Try looking for the flight in business class. You never know. You never know.
Oh.
Sometimes it does work out cheaper. I've done it once. Flying back from Rome to London, I managed to get business class cheaper than economy.
That's
That's actually
mad.
something I want to slip in for people that are watching, looking for travelling around the UK, because trains are crazy expensive here. And I used to have to travel from Somerset to York, which is about 4.5 hours. And sometimes it would be cheaper or the same price to get first class on the trains. I don't know why.
What's the
I don't know
benefit of
how,
first class on a
but-
train, though? I've never been first class on a train.
Well, you get free
special
food,
service?
you get
Oh, okay.
less riff-raff.
And there's an amazing app as well. If you use it, called Seatfrog.
Oh, I've heard of that.
let-
Actually, we
yeah,
have
it
that
lets you-
downloaded. I've never used it.
Yeah, it lets you bid for upgrades on trains. But
Leapfrog.
Nice.
Good to know.
yeah, if you manage to leave it off a little bit, you can get like an upgrade for an extra tenner or £10-15 on the day.
Yeah, not bad. They should have the same for airlines. That would be great.
I know. Well, they do, but they have like a starting price of like £400. You're like, that's you've lured me
really
in
the
with
same.
the word auction there, and it's absolutely unattainable. I know.
Well, so with all of this knowledge that you've collected and all the trips you've been on, where is the best fare-friendly and budget-friendly place you've been to?
Now, there are a lot of obvious answers, so I'm going to say a controversial answer.
Good.
I believe it's Iceland.
What?
What? Wow, that is a controversy.
She's
That's
mad.
the reaction
Hang
I
up.
wanted.
This is
Wow. Wow, people are ready to fight you.
Okay, we've heard nothing but how expensive Iceland is. How can you possibly say this answer?
People have got Iceland so wrong. Okay, this is why Iceland is the perfect budget destination. Getting there cheap. It's not that far away, and for what you're getting, you know, a £50 flight to get something, the pinnacle of beauty, that's bloody cheap. So you know that's good. When you get there, car hire. It's not that expensive. So I managed to get a 4x4, which you need in the winter months, for a week, and it was about 160 quid. So divide that by 2, you're talking £80 for the week. Still pretty decent.
Yeah.
Petrol. It is a little bit more than what we pay in the UK, but it's not outrageously more. But, you know, you take that into consideration. It's not the biggest island, so you're not going to be, you know, driving a ridiculous amount. But, yeah, you've got to factor that into. Accommodation. This is the thing. The hotels are really expensive, but I don't know if you've seen like Icelandic fashion / architecture / everything's pretty basic.
Yeah.
Like even in
Have you seen
even in the
Bjork? There is nothing basic about Bjork.
But as in it's just it's like, okay, basic's the wrong word, minimalistic. Like
Yeah.
the aesthetics are just, it's all clean and it's beautiful and wonderful, but I feel like if you're going to spend £200 on a hotel there, you wouldn't feel like you're getting the return versus somewhere else in the country where you're spending that much money. On the flip side, the guest houses are similarly minimalistic, but they're about £60 or £70 a night. They normally come with kitchen facilities so you can cook yourself, which the hotels don't. And often they come with breakfast included as well. And they are like so well rated. I struggled to find any that were badly rated. Like they just do that kind of level really, really well. So I'm totting this all up. This is turning out to be a pretty good budget holiday and you're thinking, Chelsea, you've forgotten the food and drink. The one bit that everybody says is the most expensive. When you go to the supermarket, you're probably going to spend an extra 20% on, based on UK prices, maybe 25%. But the wonderful thing, if you're doing a road trip around Iceland, there aren't that many places to stop to have food, lunch and dinner and drinks and things like that. And if you were to do it like that, you would be hampered, I think, by that. I think it actually detracts from the trip because you can't do what you want at certain times. So packing yourself some sandwiches, cooking on the road fits the trip perfectly.
Right.
And okay, we didn't have the best culinary experience, but you don't go to Iceland for the culinary experience when you're on a budget. And the main point is the nature is free.
Yeah.
It's 100% free. It's the most beautiful place I've ever been to in the world. And the fact that I went for 6 nights, had a massive, a 4x4 hire car, accommodation every single night, some of it quite quirky and cool, ate good food, had a few pints as well. I managed to do it all in all for £600. And that included
That's really
everything.
not bad. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You think for like a week holiday, £600, including all your spends, your luggage.
Yeah.
I feel
And
like
world-class
you'd spend that in
nature.
Spain. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that's my campaign for Iceland as a budget destination.
They should pay you. Yeah, that's
That's awesome.
impressive. I've never heard that argument made, to be fair. It's pretty unique.
And it's somewhere that because of the association with being expensive, I have it kind of pushed to the back of my mind, even though for Brits it's quite close to us. But you've kind of pushed it up there now, and I've actually recently heard that they're opening the country on the 1st of June for travel. I don't know the specifics with everything going on, but
arguably as well, like a nature holiday could be the best kind of holiday to take before going for any city breaks as well. So maybe that's moved up our list a little bit.
Road trips as well, I think, will be a good one because you're keeping yourself to yourself. You can social distance in your car.
Yeah. You're not eating at restaurants and
it's the same as any expensive place in the world. I live in London. It's an expensive place. So it doesn't mean I have to do it expensively. So the same can be applied to Iceland for sure.
Excellent.
I think maybe next time we come to London, we should come and pick your brains, and you can show us how to do London on a budget. Because I think people would love to know how to do it on a budget.
I mean, I only know how to do London starting off on a budget, having 2 drinks, and then forgetting about the budget.
That's our experience of London as well.
Checking the bank statement in the morning. Oh no.
Going, oh my god. Yeah. But maybe we can help each other.
Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you so much for all that amazing information, all those tips. For those of you watching who haven't seen Chelsea's channel, go head over and check it out. We'll leave a link in the description below. She has an Iceland series, so if you'd like to learn more about that super cheap budget destination, go and check out that series, and as well the Scotland one, which is coming out now.
And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Put in the comments something.
How outrageous her claim is. That is a cheap destination.
And what I've really enjoyed about doing these type of videos, probably more than anything, is that I can push off the bit that I don't like doing very much. And Chelsea, would you please do the honours of ending this video for us?
I can. In fact, do you want me to do it and shout it out my window?
Oh, that sounds fun.
That would be amazing.
Should get all of London involved, right?
They'll be like, piss off.
These are my new neighbours. They're going to hate me.
I'm excited for this.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace!